Do you want to land leads and clients from your YouTube channel, but you're unsure exactly how? Well, in this video, I'm going to show you how I turned a channel around, booking 10 sales calls from one video and 5xing the views on his content. So you'll also learn how we added 1,000 subscribers with 2 videos, our plan to destroy his competition on YouTube, and how we effortlessly create video ideas. So the problem was that he was not getting enough views for the amount of subscribers on his channel. He was unsure on how to monetize the channel, and I want to share everything that we've done so far in hopes that it will help you too. So his channel is Black Men's Beard with 173,000 subscribers, but his videos weren't doing too hot. 2,500 views, 10,000 views, 10,000 views, 13,000 views. And at first you might think, great, 13,000 views, that's a good amount. But for a channel with that amount of subscribers, he should be getting more, and particularly in that niche as well, because it's a very big niche and there is a lot of potential to get decent views on every single video. So as we started working together, we've made 2 videos that have been doing quite well so far. This one has got 50,000 views, and it is still on a upwards trend. That guy gave us 600 subscribers, and the second video we published together got 40,000 views and another 300 subscribers, which is still climbing up with views. That's only been up for 2 weeks, and it's still gaining consistent views on his channel. We've also booked 10 sales calls, and that was all from this one video. So most people will chase views on YouTube, but instead we're chasing revenue. We want to figure out, how do we make content that will bring in clients? Now, Brandon does sell physical products. He sells some grooming products for men, hair care, beard gels, oils, all that kind of stuff. However, we wanted to figure out, could he productize his knowledge as well? Because he's got a wealth of knowledge, and we would be able to make far more money selling that than just selling the physical products. So what we did is we figured out, how do we build him an offer? What can he actually help people with? So we started with, what problem can he solve? So one way to figure that out was to look at, what have people asked him for help with in the past? So he has a lot of people reaching out to him asking, how do I fix my hairline? How do I style my beard for my face type? Who can he solve the problem for? So his niche is black men in particular. And then how can we build something with the least amount of work up front? Because we don't want to spend months and months putting together an offer, putting together a big fancy course and recording all this content if nobody wanted to buy it. So we wanted to figure out, what is the least amount of steps possible to start getting clients. So I'll show you exactly what we did to do that. We figured out first to make 2 simple offers. One was helping men with their receding hairlines. So Brandon is a certified trichologist and has fixed this problem for himself in the past. So we've made a multi-month program consisting of calls and guidance. And it is literally just phone calls with Brandon. He tells them what the problem is, how to fix it, and he just guides them through the process. So he didn't need a load of fancy back-end material, because he's just helping them on those calls. And we did a second offer, which is one-off consultation calls for men who want to improve their beard. So we're just figuring out exactly what people need in that niche at the minute. So by doing just paid calls, people can just book in, pay for an hour, chat to him about whatever their problems are with the beard, and he can offer advice and solutions. But if you do want help with your YouTube channel, if you want to figure out how to bring in more clients and sales from it, then I'll put a link down below in the video description about how I can help you do that. So the next thing we needed to do was put together a sales page, and with that we just put together a little simple headline calling out his ideal customer and the result that they could get. The next thing was a little VSL, which basically is just Brandon talking through the offer, what they get, and telling people to book in for a call, which they can do down below. And a few more things on the page. We just put what they will get on the discovery call, and some before and after photos of people that he's worked with in the past. Then what I needed to do is figure out, why was he not getting the views that he should be getting on his channel. So the first thing we noticed was that the thumbnails needed to be cleaner. So for one of these video ideas, this was the thumbnail he came up with, and we can see Brandon down here in the bottom left. So I got rid of him, changed the background, moved the text around a bit as well, and we had this cleaner thumbnail here. And this one has gone on to do 50,000 views, so the video is doing well. So the cleaner thumbnail certainly has helped. We wanted to simplify the titles as well and make them easier to understand. And I've also been going through reviewing video scripts and checking over the edits for him to make sure that everything is on point, because sometimes you don't see your own blind spots and you don't realise the mistakes that you're making. So the next thing we needed to do is figure out how to destroy his competition on YouTube, because what most people will do is they will just go and look at their competition, see what kind of videos they're making, and then they will make that exact same content. But the problem is that when you do that, your channel doesn't stand out. It just becomes the same in a sea of sameness. Like, nobody has a reason to watch your content over somebody else's. So we needed to figure out, how do we make Brandon's content different from everybody else's? How do we make it stand out? So what I did is I went through, looked at all his competitors on YouTube, looked at their content, looked at what they were doing, what were they doing well, where were they making mistakes, where could they improve? And we figured out how to make a gap in the market for Brandon. And the main thing there is, one, he already has a bit of a niche because he's speaking directly to black men specifically, and they have their own unique problems. But also, it comes down to the execution. So there are a lot of people that do some things well. They might have a good title, they might have a good thumbnail, but the main thing we figured we could improve was the actual execution. So a lot of his competitors had really good titles and thumbnails, but then a poor video, or poor title and thumbnails and then a good video. So we figured if we just do everything to a high standard, we will be able to stand out quite easily. After that, we needed to figure out, how do we create video ideas? So we wanted to create a bunch of ideas that could power the channel for the next few months. So the first thing was to look at what concepts we could steal from other niches. So this video by a guy called Dave Asprey did incredibly well for his channel. How I got perfect vision naturally in my 50s. So we figured we could take that concept, we could take that title, that idea, and then apply it to Brandon's niche. So he did the same video, but now about hair. How I got a perfect hairline in my 30s, 5 easy habits. And as you can see, 40,000 views in just 2 weeks. And that video is still getting views. It's still on an upwards trend. So who knows where that might go. That could end up hitting 100,000 views. That video has been booking us sales calls. The next thing we wanted to do to come up with the video ideas was what videos did well in the same niche but were executed poorly. So we would look at the videos that had done well for other creators in that niche, but ones that were just not very well done. So we'd improve upon them. Maybe we'd come up with better examples. Maybe we'd come up with tighter scripting or more case studies in the video. And we're just looking at ways that we could beat their content and do a far better job of it. So the next thing was, what problems does his ideal client have? So somebody who is willing to become a client, who wants to pay money to figure out how to fix their receding hairline. What problems do they have? They might not know what products to buy. They might not know how to apply the products. They might not understand what's causing the hair loss in the first place. And this is all ideas that we could create content around. Next, we wanted to look at how do we actually book calls. So we had mentioned his sales page in his videos about a third of the way through. And like I said, that one video has brought in about 10 sales calls so far. We'd also mentioned the link in the video descriptions. Now, I think as we produce more videos, we'll anticipate these sales calls to skyrocket, because Google did something called the 7-11-4 rule, and they said that it takes about 7 hours of content before somebody will become a customer. Now, Brandon had a big break on his channel where he didn't post content for like a year, and he's only recently started making videos again, so people haven't reached that 7-hour rule yet. They haven't consumed 7 hours of his content recently. So by putting out content consistently now over the next few weeks and months, I think we're going to start to see that sales calls take off, and we'll start to get a bit of an exponential curve as we start to get more bookings from every single video. Now, moving on from that, I just want to talk about what we're working on next. So we need to just get the machine turning a bit faster. We need to figure out how do we overcome the bottlenecks in the creation process so we can make sure we're getting a video out every single week. There's been a few things holding us back. And we're getting about a 5% conversion rate on his sales pages. So for every 100 people that visit, we get about 5 people booking a call, which is okay at the minute, but we need to get more visits onto those sales pages. So that could involve making the call to actions a bit better in the videos, or we could do things like pinned comments, we could change the descriptions a little bit more, and we're also looking at automating the short form content, because we could take this one long YouTube video and then chop it up and change it and then push it out onto all of the short form platforms. So we're figuring out, how do we automate that? How do we take one video and then chop it into 5 other videos? And as I learn all of these things, as we figure these pieces out, I'm going to be talking about it on this channel. We're going to be building this business in public, so you'll be able to come along for the ride and see exactly what we're doing, learn from our mistakes, and figure out how you can build a business with YouTube as well. But if you do want to make YouTube content and you find it's taking far too long, then watch this video next, where I tell you how to make YouTube videos in just 1 hour every single week.